Welcome back, everyone. For last week's curiosity, I asked you to try and work out how the land crabs of Christmas Island can live on land. Most crabs live in water, but how is it that these very special crabs can walk around on land? I also asked, what do you think they eat? And why do they undertake their famous migration down across the island to the coasts? And what do they do when they finally get to the water? Over the last week, a lot of you sent in answers, and many of you got it absolutely correct. Well, to answer the first part of the question, how these crabs live on land, the answer is these crabs have very specialised gills within their carapace or shells. The gills allow the crabs to breathe air, but they must remain moist. So even though these crabs live on land, they still have a connection to the water because they mustn't ever dry out. If they dry out, they can't breathe, and of course would then die. For the second part of the question, I asked you what these crabs eat. Well, they're herbivores and omnivores. They mostly eat leaf litter, chewing up old leaves and wood, fruit, flowers, and any leaf litter they can find. But they will scavenge and eat any dead meat that they come across, such as the bodies of dead animals. For the last part of my question, I asked you why these crabs migrate across Christmas Island down to the coasts. Well, even though these crabs live on land, they have to release their eggs into the seawater. So the females march across the island all the way down to the seashore. There, they open their tails, which are curled underneath their bodies, and they release thousands, if not millions of eggs per crab out into the sea. The eggs can be so numerous that the seawater can turn black. The eggs then hatch out at sea, and several weeks later, the tiny baby crabs, known as megalops, return back to Christmas Island on the tide and march inland, and the life cycle starts again. Did you correctly guess the answers to these rather crabby questions?